Hello guys! The new Beta 4.5 Jujutsu-Kaisen mod has been completed. Several new characters and new domains have been added in this update, and now I will tell you about them. Let's get started. First, I'd like to start with a small announcement. I've decided to make it so that only Giga subscription holders can download the new 0.5 betas. Other full new betas can also download both Jipper and Giga. A very large number of people are watching us unsubscribed, but if we get 50,000 subscribers on this channel, we will release soft body physics for some body parts, just like for the female Titan in Attack on Human. Now back to the topic of the video. So, we've added spheres control for Gojo Satoru. Now in the context menu in limitless settings you can enable directional control of spheres behind the cursor. You can now direct all spheres to where your cursor is located. As well as now the speed of spheres depends on their size. The initial strength of spheres has been increased, and the damage of cursed energy depends on the distance. The closer it gets, the stronger it gets. The explosion now deals more damage and a much stronger knockback. And the spheres have been reworked, now they work much better now. Finally, the long-awaited prison realm has been added to the game. It's a cursed object that allows you to imprison anyone if they look at it for a minute, but this is an anime convention. In the mod the player decides when to imprison someone. To imprison someone in prison realm, you need to click scale in the context menu of the prison. After scale you need to click jail, and select the person you want to imprison. After that the person remains imprisoned until he is opened. He can never get out on his own. To release an imprisoned person, you must click on Unjail in the context menu. After that the person will be released. Also, the prison exclusively changes its color if you imprison Satoru Gojo there. Kuchisake-Onna has been added. This is a very powerful curse. By bringing her hand to middle body and pressing the H button, she will pull out a pair of scissors that she can stab anyone with. Her main feature, she can open a liminal domain from the context menu of her head. In this liminal domain, all objects are reflected to infinity and this effect looks epic. Here in the context menu of the domain you can find the attack button. Attack creates a pack of scissors for each enemy in the domain. The scissors chase the victim for a few seconds, then go into attack state and make a dash at a random limb guaranteed to shred it. Scissors in the domain can be disarmed by cutting them with any cutting weapon, after which the attack is cancelled. But you must have time to cut the entire pack of scissors or you will lose a limb. You can't shoot scissors, you can only cut them. Scissors can also be created as a normal object from the spawn menu. Kuchisake-Onna also has two skins, her regular and aggressive version. We've also added the ability to pick domains in the ability picker, so you can give them to any Jujutsu user. Also in the ability picker, you can now give away a simple domain. This is a domain that currently just closes the area around the Jujutsu user who summoned it and protects it from being infiltrated by anything. Amogus. With enough force, the domain can be broken from the outside, but it can't be broken from the inside. No one will be able to escape from inside the domain. If Jujutsu user was killed then his domain will disappear. Be more careful with collapse next time. The same will happen if you move him by force for the domain. Simple domain has 600 energy, and it's needed for the domains clash. What's a domains clash? It is an event when two domains cross each other and start destroying each other. At this moment, the domain will have the word clashing in its name. During this event, domains can be crossed by anyone, including random objects. But if the owner of one of the domains goes outside of it, his domain will be destroyed, and now no one can cross the second domain again. If one of the domains runs out of energy, the domain will be destroyed. After a domains clash, the domain's energy does not regenerate or diminish. The energy can be restored only when the domain is created again. After a domains clash, you will be able to summon the domain again without any restrictions. Also other domains have different energy, for example the Kuchisake domain has 800 energy when unlimited void domain have 5000 energy. Also the size of the domains and the amount of energy can be customized. In the context menu of the head next to the domain will be change domain scale and change domain energy scale. The first one changes the domain size by a multiplied number, and the second one multiplies the energy by a number you enter. With these settings, your domain can have a huge amount of power and consume the entire map with its domain and create your own settlement, or make a very small domain, restricting your personal space on the bus from outsiders. A new item has been added, Kumo Bow. It is a bow that has very high power, capable of punching through several creatures. But it does a little damage to curses. To shoot, you must first create a bow and then an arrow, and touch the arrow to the bow. You can shoot the bow with either 1, 2, or 3 arrows. You can also turn on infinite arrows in the context menu. In this case you won't have to create arrows. The bow also has a targeting mode. To do this, in the context menu you need to click on select target and select any limb of the creature or object, and when you shot an arrow it will fly in the direction of the target. You can also customize the bow's energy damage in the context menu. And if you set it to a high value, the bow turns into an ultimatum weapon and destroys Jujutsu users and curses instantly, but you will need a lot of energy to do this. Also, if you launch 3 arrows at the same time, they will take energy for 3 arrow shots at once. In doing so, your damage will be huge. We have also introduced a huge amount of innovations to the Jujutsu system. If you destroy a Jujutsu user's cursed energy core, which is located in the middle body, then they will no longer be able to use cursed energy, they will no longer be able to use any techniques, and they will no longer be able to heal with the reversed curse technique. And they'll no longer be able to even go to sleep, and they'll no longer be able to even live, and they'll no longer be able to even exist. If a person's head is not connected to the core of the cursed energy middle body, then they cannot use the cursed energy either, as there is no connection between the mind and the core of the cursed energy. Curses are not affected by these rules, as they are made up entirely of cursed energy, and depriving them of any part of it will not affect them. They can heal and regrow any limb. There are exceptions when the curse can't live without a head. For example, Mahito will simply grow a new head, since he can change the shape of his soul. In the new beta we have added the Locust Curse. It has 2 pairs of arms and a belly, as it is literally a locust. In the context menu of the head you can enable flight with wings. Along with it was added a new ability, Expandable Abdomen. If you activate the protruding belly, it will enlarge and can pierce the enemy. In the head context menu you can activate Black Mucus. If you activate his head, he will spit acid at enemies. Your enemies will decompose to the bones. Well, that was all about Kogai. Now moving on. Finger Bearer got a rework of his abilities. If you toggle Fire Cannon ability and clamp his hand, he activates a laser that destroys everything in its path.
I'm a fire in my laser!
Playful Cloud has received a change. Now the strength of weapons in Jujutsu users' hands depends on the physical strength of the character. It will destroy everything in its path, becoming the most powerful melee weapon ever. Thanks for watching. So that was all new content in this update. It came out pretty intense, and it improved and expanded the domain system, added 2 new domains, new characters, and made changes to the Jujutsu-Kaisen system. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. We're going to list our patrons who have supported us via Boosty or Patreon. Well, I gotta run.